I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
That's the very first thing the Joker says in The Dark Knight. Not to Batman, not to a villain, to a dying bank manager bleeding out on the floor while a school bus full of children idles outside. He smiles, he gets on the bus, he drives away. And most people move past that line like it's a throwaway joke. It isn't. It's a thesis statement. Because the Joker doesn't believe pressure breaks people. He believes pressure reveals them, strips away the performance, exposes what's actually underneath. And what's underneath, in every single person he targets in this film, is the same ugly truth. We are not as good as we think we are. Batman, Harvey Dent, the mob, the police, ordinary Gotham citizens. Every single one of them will be pushed, and every single one of them will prove the Joker right. So today, we're breaking down exactly how the Joker manipulates every person in The Dark Knight, move by move, scene by scene, and making the case for something the film barely says out loud. Despite ending the movie in handcuffs, the Joker doesn't just survive The Dark Knight, he wins it. Before we get into the manipulations, we need to kill the biggest myth about this character. Most people watch this film and think the Joker is chaos, unpredictable, random, a force of nature with no design. And the Joker wants you to think that. That's actually the first manipulation. And it's aimed directly at you, the audience.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
You know what I am? I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it.
He says this to Harvey Dent. It's a lie, a brilliant, deliberate lie, because everything the Joker does is engineered. He constructs situations with multiple winning conditions so that no matter what his opponent chooses, he comes out ahead. He studies his targets. He builds traps around their specific personalities. He is, without question, the most disciplined strategist in the entire film. Alfred sees it before anyone else.
Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Not money, not power. He wants to prove something, that civilization is a performance, and that under real pressure, everyone drops the act. And he spends the entire film making every person in Gotham prove it for him. The film opens with a bank robbery. 6 men, coordinated, professional. By the end of the scene, they've killed each other. Not because anything went wrong, because the Joker told each of them, in private, to eliminate their partner the moment their task was complete. Fewer survivors, bigger cut. These men had a shared goal, a shared enemy. They were working together until self-interest offered a better deal. Then they turned on each other without a moment's hesitation. The Joker doesn't fire a single shot. He just redesigns the incentive structure and lets human nature finish the job. He walks out of a mob bank, alone, while his entire crew lies dead behind him. And as he climbs into the school bus, the bank manager, bleeding out on the floor, stares up and says, "Criminals in this town used to believe in things, honor, respect." The Joker puts a grenade in his mouth and drives away. He doesn't argue. He doesn't need to. The point has already been made without a single word of debate. Given the right circumstances, anyone will abandon anyone. The experiment has begun. When the Joker enters the mob meeting, he's outnumbered and outgunned. He doesn't care, because he's already done his homework. Here's the formula he uses on every single target in this film. 3 questions. For the mob, the answer is sitting right in front of him. They're holding meetings in broad daylight. That tells you everything. They're afraid of getting caught. They value money and status, and more than anything, they want Batman gone. So the Joker builds an offer with no logical downside.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Kill Batman, half their money. If Batman kills him first, they paid nothing. If he succeeds, they're untouchable. The logic is airtight and everyone in the room knows it. Everyone except Gamble. His ego can't take being played, so he reacts emotionally, puts out a public bounty on the Joker's head, and in doing so, broadcasts his greatest desire to the one man in Gotham who will exploit it without mercy. The Joker shows up in a body bag, sits up at the table, and presses a blade into Gamble's mouth. Ego is the most predictable weakness there is. A man who needs to win will always lower his guard the moment he thinks he has. Then, the Joker turns to Gamble's 2 remaining men and offers one of them a job. The other has to be killed to earn it. 2 men who stood side by side every day now have every reason to destroy each other. He didn't recruit them, he just changed what they were competing for. You can't bribe Batman, you can't threaten him, you can't outfight him. So the Joker does something far more dangerous. He attacks the thing that makes him Batman, his code. He starts killing civilians who imitate his hero, then issues a public ultimatum: unmask yourself, or an innocent person dies every day. This reframes Batman entirely. A man whose defining principle is never killing anyone is now, by simply existing, getting people killed. His self-interest in anonymity has been turned into a weapon against innocent lives. His moral code has become a liability. The pressure builds. Bruce starts genuinely considering whether it's time to quit. But then, Bruce hands the Joker something he never meant to. At the fundraiser, when Rachel falls, he dives out a window after her, abandoning a room full of people under threat to save one person. The Joker was watching. He now knows exactly who Bruce Wayne loves most. A man with no weakness can be frustrated, but a man who loves someone?
They need you right now. When they don't, they'll cast you out. Like a leper.
He says this later, directly to Batman's face. He's not just threatening, he's diagnosing. He already knows Batman's relationship with Gotham is conditional. The city supports him when it's convenient, and will turn the moment the cost gets personal. The Joker is just making sure Batman feels that truth in his bones, softening him up for what comes next. This scene is the most psychologically precise in the film. The Joker is in custody, handcuffed, alone, at the complete mercy of the Gotham Police Department, and he is completely in control because everyone around him is following the rules. Protocol, due process, and a man with no rules will always find the cracks in a system built on them. He targets the grieving cop across from him, not with a threat, with a question. Then he goes to work.
Do you want to know why I use a knife? Guns are too quick. You can't savor all the little emotions. You see, in their last moments, people show you who they really are.
He isn't poking a wound, he's twisting it, implying the officer's friends died slowly, showed fear, that the Joker knew them better in their final seconds than the cop ever did in years of friendship. Every word is engineered to collapse one specific boundary: the line between professional restraint and personal revenge. The moment that officer crosses it and starts beating him, the Joker has exactly what he needs. The distraction, the chaos, the phone call. He didn't escape from the interrogation room. He planned the interrogation room. This is where the entire film pivots and where the Joker achieves 4 things with a single move. He kidnaps both Rachel Dawes and Harvey Dent. He gives Batman their locations, but switches the addresses. Then he forces a choice: save the woman he loves, or save Gotham's White Knight. Bruce chooses Rachel. He drives to her address, which is actually Harvey's location. The Joker already knew he would. He'd watched him dive out a window to prove it. Rachel dies. Harvey survives with half his face burned away, his faith in the system destroyed, and nothing left to live for. Harvey Dent himself had said it at dinner.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
He had no idea he was writing his own ending. In one move, the Joker exposes Bruce's deepest truth, that when it mattered most, he chose love over mission. He destroys Harvey's faith in the system he swore to protect. He eliminates Gotham's greatest symbol of hope. And he creates Two-Face, a man with Harvey's credibility and connections, now fully weaponized against everything he once defended.
You didn't think I'd risk losing the battle for Gotham's soul in a fistfight with you. No. You need an ace in the hole. Mine's Harvey.
He didn't just kill Rachel, he killed the future she represented. And he didn't just scar Harvey, he transformed him into the most effective weapon against Gotham's soul that the city had ever seen. Now the Joker shifts targets. He's done with the powerful. He wants ordinary people. He announces on live television, if Coleman Reese, a completely innocent man the public has never heard of, isn't killed within an hour, Gotham's hospitals start blowing up. Think about what this actually is. The public knows Reese is innocent. They claim to believe in the rule of law. They claim to be against murder. But the moment it's him or them, cars swerve, tips get called in, someone tries to run him off the road.
See, their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be.
He doesn't need them to succeed. He just needs them to try. Because the moment they do, civilization's mask slips and everyone watching sees what's underneath. Then he blows up the hospital anyway, dressed as a nurse, because he already got what he came for. This is the Joker's masterpiece. 2 ferries, one full of civilians, one full of convicted criminals. Each boat has the detonator to the other's bomb. If neither presses the button by midnight, both boats explode. The design is airtight. Believe in self-preservation? Press the button. Think the criminals will press theirs first? Press yours faster. Hope no one presses it? Keep your finger close just in case. Every rational position leads to the same place. He has reduced the social contract, the idea that we collectively agree to protect each other, down to one binary choice under maximum pressure. And here's the darkest layer. The criminals throw their detonator overboard first. A convicted prisoner makes a more moral choice than the civilian boat was milliseconds away from making.
Introduce a little anarchy. Upset the established order, and everything becomes chaos. I'm an agent of chaos.
Gotham barely passes, but the Joker doesn't need them to fail. He needs them to feel the finger hovering over the button, to sit with what they almost did. Because that feeling, the moment self-preservation almost won, is the real victory. It goes off inside every passenger on both boats, regardless of what they chose, and they carry it home with them forever. One final touch before the endgame. The Joker dresses his actual goons as hostages, orange jumpsuits, hands bound. And he dresses the real hostages as his men, clown masks, guns taped to their hands. The SWAT team arrives with one mission: save the hostages. But the hostages look like the enemy. Batman has to physically stop the police to save the people the police came to rescue. The hero has to fight the law to protect the innocent. Doing the right thing looks, from every external angle, identical to doing the wrong thing.
The only sensible way to live in this world is without rules.
And he just proved it, not with an argument, but with a scenario. The rule followers almost pulled the trigger on the people they were sworn to protect. Order and chaos became indistinguishable. That's not madness, that's precision. The Joker is captured at the end of The Dark Knight. Batman hangs him from a building. The police take him in. On paper, the hero wins. Now look at what actually happened. Harvey Dent is dead. Worse than dead, he died a killer. 5 murders. Gotham's White Knight. Batman breaks his one rule, pushing Harvey off that building, then takes the blame for Harvey's crimes, brands himself the villain, and disappears. The city mourns a lie. The hope Gordon and Batman preserve isn't real. It's a story, carefully constructed on top of everything the Joker destroyed. The Joker told Batman exactly how this would end.
I took Gotham's White Knight, and I brought him down to our level. It wasn't hard. See, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
He gave Harvey that push. He gave Bruce that push. He gave Gotham that push. And every one of them fell. The Joker in The Dark Knight is not a villain in the traditional sense. He's a diagnostician, someone who located the gap between who people claim to be and who they actually are under pressure, and decided to live there, to build his entire operation inside that gap. He didn't corrupt Gotham, he revealed what was already there, and the worst part, he was right, And that's what makes Heath Ledger's Joker the most dangerous villain in cinema history. Not because he's scary, not because he's unpredictable, but because everything he says about human nature turns out to be true. The mob proves it. The police prove it. Harvey proves it. Bruce proves it. The passengers on that ferry come within seconds of proving it.
When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
The film doesn't let you off the hook either. You watch those boats. You know what you were hoping would happen. You know how your logic was bending in the dark of that cinema. The only question The Dark Knight leaves you with is the one the Joker's been asking since the first frame. The one he answered for himself a long time ago. And the one none of his targets were prepared for. Under enough pressure, who are you really? Before that night on the ferry, every single passenger thought they already knew the answer.